At the heart of Santa Clarita sits the city of Newhall, the city's oldest neighborhood with a rich history. Newhall was the first permanent town of Santa Clarita, having been founded back in the 1800s and named after Henry Mayo Newhall himself. When the town began to populate more and more as a result of the new San Fernando train tunnel, naturally saloons and restaurants began to open. One of which that's still standing to this day is LA's famous Saugus Cafe, the topic of this episode's Spotlight Bite. Saugus Cafe, originally named Toll-Free Saugus Eating House, first opened in 1888, and it is officially the longest operating restaurant in Los Angeles. The cafe had quickly opened as a result of rapid growth of the new town, and travelers stopping in by train via the new South Pacific Rail network. This railway provided a connection from San Francisco to Los Angeles, so the cafe was a very convenient stop for those taking a break in Newhall. In its 132-year history, the cafe has served millions of hungry guests from all over the country. Some notable names who have stopped by include William Mulholland, John Wayne, Gary Cooper, and Charlie Chaplin. Even Presidents Benjamin Harrison and Theodore Roosevelt dropped in for a bite, Theo calling his New York-style steak splendid. The cafe has undergone many changes over the century, including a complete remodel and enlargement in 1925. When it was under new management in 1936, a fast food drive-thru annex was attached to the main building. However, it didn't last long because it ended up being accidentally destroyed by its first customer in 1941, an out-of-control truck driver. Oops. But the general atmosphere has stayed pretty much the same, making it the same comforting home for many generations of guests. Now let's talk about everyone's favorite part, the food! Saugus Cafe is rightfully known for their wide variety of breakfast, lunch, and dinner options. Traditional foods like steak and eggs, pancakes, sausage, and omelets line the menu for breakfast, while burgers and sandwiches are up next for lunch. And if you're still around for dinner, you've got to try their most popular dish, the country fried steak. Did I mention that the cafe has nothing but great reviews? According to Yelp, what keeps hundreds of Santa Clarita residents coming back to Saugus Cafe is their warm, friendly service, good food, great prices, and for some, nostalgia. Local guide Dave Barber having said that he'd been coming to this diner for 60 years. Now that's a dedicated guest. Okay, so this restaurant sounded way too good to pass up, so me and my other half decided to give breakfast a try.
Thank you so much.
Sure enough, the chefs did not disappoint. Saugus Cafe. It's not just a diner. It's an experience that has stood for over a century, and after all this time, it still hasn't lost its tasty touch. The diner vows to continue serving hearty, reasonably priced meals in the same down-home atmosphere as when it first opened. And if you need help finding it, it is and always has been located at 25861 Railroad Avenue, just after you make that right turn off of Magic Mountain Parkway. And as always, see you next time on SCV Spotlight Bites.